coming from an environment where I could just go outside and I'd know someone to talk to, and my friends were so close, and I could just take a commute there, 5 minute commute there, and I'd see them. To now where I don't really have anyone in immediate contact with me aside from my parents. Almost all of the hours of the day are alone with myself, and for the longest time, even as a student in school, in a lively class, and I was a lively person as well, I would have lots of moments where in lunch break I would just sit alone because I couldn't relate to anyone. I'd sit in the corner of the room on my laptop, making it look like I'm doing schoolwork when I'm actually just reflecting and thinking about things, thinking about why I'm so lonely right now and why no one relates to me in certain ways. And there are different reasons for that. Like I don't at the time I didn't have social media and I wasn't really into the things that people were into. Just because of those reasons, that's enough to know that people won't talk to you about certain things and people don't relate to you. But that should not be an excuse to socialize. And I knew that. I knew that just because I couldn't relate to people didn't mean that I should be a total outcast. And I wasn't a total outcast. It was just a matter that I chose my own loneliness because I wanted to be alone. And I think now that I am alone for most of the day, it's becoming apparent to me that you have to kind of think of loneliness as a good thing and not as something that will make you suffer. And obviously, you can get to a point where loneliness does make you suffer, and just totally not being in touch with anyone destroys you. And I think you, I've thought of myself as getting to that point because there's a feeling of being surrounded by people, yet you don't feel in touch with any of them. Where you're in a where you're in a hangout, like you're in a mall with your friends, and everything's lively and everything's happy, but you don't feel you belong. You feel so out of place. And to me, loneliness and a sense of belonging is very connected. I've kind of linked the two as very similar feelings. And I think you can feel one without the other. And I'm just thinking now that I can feel like I belong in myself. And in that way, being lonely will be a nice thing. It'll be almost a treat because I feel like I belong in my own skin. And I've written about this a lot of times, but I've never really identified it. I think I'm uncomfortable with myself, and that's why I don't like being lonely. Where it's loneliness isn't really a thing of being uncomfortable around other people, so you seclude yourself. But loneliness should be a nice thing because people are volatile. People are things that you cannot control. You can you don't like everyone in the world, and people aren't there to please you, but you are. And if you enjoy your own company, then how nice would that be? You wouldn't need to talk to anyone. And now I'm at a point of my life where I'm having to embrace that, and I'm having to sit with myself and look at myself and write journal and think about my flaws and what I like and don't like about myself. And it is also a reflection of what I feared because I think I was lonely and I was secluded because I feared people would judge me. Now that I am lonely, I'm gonna have to do the judging for myself. And I should have no reason to be scared of that. No reason to be scared of being alone with yourself because of what you think you might do or what you think you might think about yourself. And this might come from a place of self-hatred or something, self-doubt, rather. And I think being lonely, you have to heal from that and you have to look into yourself and acknowledge that you're going to be with yourself for most of your life, so you can't just be uncomfortable being lonely. And I think that's what I've been realizing. And I don't know if this will, in the long run, improve me. I don't know what this will do for me. And I know I'll get to know myself better. That's for sure. And I think I feel all this uncertainty. You can tell just by my voice and how I don't know what to say that I'm very uncertain about this because I've never really confronted loneliness in this way, where I can't escape it immediately. There's no easy way out because I don't have people I know that much, and I can't speak a language. And I've chose this upon myself to move here and to be lonely and to do what I want. And now you stare into your own reflection and you have to look closely and closely. But now you stare into your reflection every day and you have to look closer and closer until you find something that makes you happy. Something that makes you happier than when you weren't lonely. To the point that loneliness isn't a curse and it's not suffering and it's not paranoia. Loneliness is peace. And I think for now, I'm going to have to look for that peace. So that is all